Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Whew Chile Chronicles Podcast. It's your girl, Cubana Kiss, and I got two of my homegirls with me, Miss Raychel. What's up, mamas?
Hey, girl, hey.
And Miss Anitka. What's up, boo? Long time no see.
Hi.
Look, today is a little different. I don't have my normal co-host with me, and we a little delayed, but not... What is it? Delayed but not denied, or some shit like that. They be
yeah.
But
That is not what
I may be saying. But we wanted to touch on the whole McDonald's skit situation. Like, did we ever find out if it was real or not?
It wouldn't surprise me, but
Yeah. So for those who were living under a rock, it went viral. My dad had brought his child some McDonald's to a house where his baby mama was at. She got 6 other kids. He ain't bring them other kids no McDonald's. It sent internet up in a doggone storm because you can't do for one kid without doing for the other, which made me feel like, why are we not talking about how the parents' relationships influence the sibling relationships? And so I put a post out, put a call out on Facebook and Instagram, and I got my two homies to squat up on them. Because what you talking about?
So before we move on today, I just want to say there was a situation like that with my mama, my daddy, and like me, because I'm the oldest of 5 kids of hers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
And my daddy would come get me. Obviously, she didn't have the best taste in me, but my daddy was that nigga. So he would come and get me, and he would like buy me stuff, while I was in his care. And then it went from her, him doing that to me, to my mama asking him to do that for my siblings. And even as a kid, I felt the way because I was like, this my daddy. Like, why would he be bringing, this is my damn daddy.
Why I got to share with these, why I share my daddy with these people? Okay, so you're the oldest of 5. Rachel, you're the oldest of 5. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest of 4, 2 of which I found out about when my son was 2.
Okay.
Actually, I found out about them when I was pregnant with my son, but I didn't get to like meet them until well later on in life. So that just gives y'all the history of my life. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm glad. I mean, shit, I ain't got no thing. I hope I ain't got no secret siblings. I'll be pissed.
Man,
because I'm my daddy's only child, so I don't want none of that shit. I'm 30. Don't come up here with that shit. You should have came a long time ago.
And you know what? And it's so crazy because so I am the oldest of 4, so it's me. And I don't want to say real names for obvious reasons, but then I have my my little sister. We'll call her Cha Cha. And then I have another sister underneath her. We'll call her D. And then I have a brother, and we'll call him Al. The 2, D and Al, I'm closer to them than I am to the sister I grew up in the house with. And I still don't understand how that happened. Like, how did that happen? I don't know. But so Rachel, what's your relationship like with your other 4 siblings?
We're really close, like really close. I'm 36 and my youngest brother is 24. So it's like a 12 and a half, 13 year difference. Mm-hmm. And of course they act like, the boys are the youngest. It's 3 girls, it's 2 boys. Mm-hmm. And the boys are the youngest. And of course the boys act as if they're the big brothers, I'm mini daddy, and they like to be in charge and everything like that. But the dynamic in our household was that even though it was a huge age gap from me to them, like our parents did do what they needed to do to keep us, together and make sure we had a bond.
Okay. And what about you, Anika?
It's the complete opposite. We lived in the same house and I didn't talk to none of them bitches, okay? And
Anika,
now
like,
that we
actually,
grown,
fuck
I
everybody.
still don't talk to none of them bitches. I just seen my two youngest siblings, last week for the first time in like over 10 years.
Wow. So why do you think that it is that it was just such a huge dynamic between you and like your other siblings? Like, do they all talk to each other?
Yes.
And
it's because I don't talk to them. And it's because of the age difference. When I was going out of the house, I didn't really get along with my mother. So in order for me to talk to them, I would have had to call her. And because I wasn't fucking with her by way, they were just collateral damage. I didn't get to talk to them.
Okay. No, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. So my mom tried her hardest for me and my sister. Cha-Cha. We're going to call her Cha-Cha.
I liked her too. She was so fun.
She's a great time, and I don't know really what the dynamic shift was. And I will say this much: my mom did her damnedest to make sure that we had a great relationship, right? Like, that's your sister, you supposed to have your sister back, like, how Black people be like, one fall, y'all all fall, that's just what it is. But as we got older, and I will say it was a shift in, like, when she was in high school and I was in college, so we're 2 school grades apart. But we're only like a year and a half apart. Like, we not far apart at all. But when I went to college, I didn't go away. I just went downtown Chicago. Like, we lived in the suburbs. I went downtown. And whatever that shift was, it was evident. Like, we no longer had the same interests. We were not going on the same path. It just completely different, to the point now she changed her number so much. I don't even have her number. She'll text me like, this is my new number, and I won't even say it. Like, whatever. Like, you got it. You got it. And then my 2 siblings that I met, after, like, I met them, I want to say my son was like, shit, in kindergarten when I finally met them. I'm like, me and my youngest, so I'm the oldest, and my brother is the youngest. I feel like I talked to him quite a bit. Like, I'll text him, call him, what's up? He just was here for Memorial Day. I had the time of my life. Like, I don't know how that dynamic happened. I'm not sure if it's because we met when we were grown. So it's like, whoever we are is who we gonna be.
Yeah.
But I hate that because of the bullshit that was going on between my mom and my birth father. Their mom and my birth father was the fucking problem. And because of him, his kids didn't grow up the way they needed to grow up. Like, we should have grown up together, and we didn't, because he was a dumbass. So it just was what it was. But I wonder, so just for audience purposes, how many of us have children? Everyone know I got a child.
I do.
Rachel, you have a kid. Nika ain't having. She got dogs.
I am trying. Okay, the love of my life is deceased. So there's that.
And I'm sorry to hear that, because I know that was like rough.
It was only bad because it was all like in the media and stuff. Had it been like private, it would have been different. But because it just blew up like that, that was the hardest part.
Yeah. Ooh. I could. Yeah. We're gonna get at a moment. So Rachel, you have your one beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
Does she have any siblings with her dad?
No.
Oh, so she's still the only. Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to that nigga B.
Let me tell you. And for that, I am very thankful. But no, her dad was married. And I kudos to his wife. She was a great bonus mom to my daughter. So I'm very appreciative of that. She did pass away last year. From, I want to say, stomach cancer. I know she had a rare cancer, but she did pass away from that. But it was rocky, me and her relationship. It was a bit rocky, but we did get it together, and she even helped with me and her dad's communication. So she was like that liaison for the both of us. So I'm forever like grateful and indebted to her for that. But they did not have any children.
Okay, so that changes that entire question.
It doesn't stop the questions, you know. It doesn't. But she's the only child for both me and her father. Only grandchild for.
She blessed rotten. Because I don't like that word.
But my sister just had a baby, so now she's no longer the only grandchild. So, you know, and I love my niece. That's my baby. That's my baby. My sister can say all day that that's her baby, but that's my baby. So I got 2 kids. I only claim one on my taxes.
It'd be like that. So do you think that if your parents didn't raise y'all the way y'all was raised, Rachel, do you think that y'all would still be as close as y'all are now?
I never thought about that actually. The girls, yes. The boys, I think they would have just been, you know, like them because they're closer in age. And it's like we're grouped. So it's me and my sister. We're like the closest in age. We're like you and your sister. So technically we're 2 years apart, but grade levels we're 3 years apart. Because, you know, and then we have my middle sister who is kind of like by herself per se. And then we have the 2 boys who are 1.5 years apart. So it's kind of like grouping, but like my middle sister, she's like the savior, I guess, if you want to say, because she can kind of like bounce.
I was going to say she's a neutral party.
Right. I was like, usually they're the problem child. Shit.
What I've noticed with the middle kids though, as they get older, they actually, they fake be the glue because
she is. She is. She's probably the only sibling out of us all that consistently say, like, if she call, I love you all the time. When we see each other, I love you. You know, and that's something that, you know, I do it, but I don't always do it, but she always does it. So she is like the glue of us being together. So I feel like if my parents didn't lay that foundation, she would probably still be the same person that she is, but she would have to bring us all together.
Right. Anitka, do you think that it could have been something like different done in the house, or you think you was just like, actually, I'm done. I'm out this jam. Fuck all y'all. Like, what happened?
My youngest 2 siblings, I raised them. So to not talk to them anymore was very hurtful because I literally raised them. And if you see my sister, she looks so much like me. Everybody thought that was my daughter because I was 16 when she was born. So everybody thought that was my daughter. I raised her and the brother under her. So I feel like if my mother wasn't involved, we would have a better relationship because she is a shit starter. Like she would start shit amongst us, it was unnecessary because now as adults, we're adults and we're ganging up on her and now she don't like it.
Well, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, because we know you're a liar. We know you're a thief. Love, go ahead and account for it. Come on.
The nigga said, listen, I'm here to talk my
like because and at this point you ain't gonna whoop my ass. So
I really do feel like though what people don't really talk about though, and like the whole basis of this episode was I don't think people truly realize I don't think parents truly realize like the input and how they affect the children in the household, right? So like my mom has said in the past, like, you know, y'all was raised in the same house with the same exact rules, the same exact way. And I've always been like, well, we was raised in the same house, but we ain't had the same rules. Like I always say that. And she'll be like, that's not true. And I'm like, no, I couldn't go out, spend the night, you know, go to concerts. My sister started one of the concerts, you know, fucking Millennium Tours. She was at all of those. Like I wouldn't
had the same rules. They were just enforced differently. So yeah, the same rules was there, but you picked and choose how much you wanted to bear down.
I don't even know if the same rules was there because like I literally could not spend the night out, even in high school. Like you spending the night.
17, 18 years old. I wasn't even dating for real at 17, 16, 17. I wasn't dating for real, but you know, I was talking to niggas on and off. They couldn't come to the house. At 16, my sister boyfriend moved in with them.
What?
Moved in. Had a baby.
I'm not
all that under the same roof.
You like, what happened here? Because I couldn't have anybody over at the house.
I was like, wow. I couldn't even really have friends over to the house for real. Women. And we talking about you moved a nigga in the house.
Right.
Let's talk about
like, what they say. They say like the rules change. They say the first child is the child that you have such a hold on, right? Like you put all the restrictions. I can remember every little thing. I couldn't wear makeup till I was 15. I couldn't get my nails done till I was 13. I couldn't date until I was 16 because then at that time you can drive because I'm not dropping you off. Her whole biggest thing was that she wasn't dropping me off nowhere. And so whatever I wanted to do, I had to be 16 to get there, apparently.
And a lot of that shit I didn't even do. Like, even I didn't wear makeup for real. I definitely got my nails done. Wasn't really in a dating. Like, I would text every now and again, but nothing heavy, nothing like that. So I was out of all of her
we
children.
Didn't even have text.
I was going to say text. I ain't text.
It was a later thing. It was like high school. It was like 22.
We had text messaging. We had text messaging in high school, but it was like T9 text messaging.
Right. That's why I was like, I would text like on and off. I had my own house phone line.
No Kias.
Right.
Maybe a Razor if we upgraded.
That's when I came up. I came up on the Razor. I was like, yes.
That part. I think too, though, the other thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is the whole, like, I raised all my kids the same exact way. And I feel like I have an issue with that because it's just like teachers, right? Like, you can't teach everybody the same way. So why would you assume that you can raise every single one of your children the same way, especially if they have different fathers? They gonna need different things. Like, it's just...
And I was the least problems out of all of my mama kids. I was one of the least problems. I never fucked up in school, always got good grades, went off to college, got my degrees, went to the military, did all that shit. My sister somewhere in Iowa with 3 kids now. I think she's 25. Her youngest kid is under 1. My brother under her is locked up. He in jail for 10 years. And then it's my 2 siblings under them. And I have no idea where they're going to end up because she just be leaving them in the house and shit. I don't know where they are with school, none of that. So who knows where they're going to end up.
Like for me, I said it's crazy because I just had a conversation not too long ago with my brother about this, and I was just like, by it being 5 of us, and like I'm 36, my sister is 30. What is she? 33. Then my other sister's 29. Then you got 26, and then you got 24. I said I always tell them, I'm like, although we may have been raised the same, we got different versions of our parents.
Ooh, talk about it.
And he was like, no. And I'm like, yeah.
You damn sure did.
Talk about it.
But my parents are older. My parents are in their early 60s. So the parents that I got, fresh out of college, just married, just having
trying to figure this out,
trying to figure it out. Whereas the parent that they got is, I'm into my career. I can, do more things and this and that. Like I told my brother, I'm like, man, I remember when Daddy used to work like all the time, and he was like, no. I'm like, no. Mama get up. Mama get up. She go to work. Dad'll be there with me and my sister, and he would, get us ready for school. That would be his time to go to sleep. By the time we got out of school, my mom was coming home from work. My dad would, leave to go to one job, come back, go do another job. I remember my dad rode a bike in the snow. I don't know how that was really possible, but
parents love to tell you stuff like that. I walked to my job barefoot in the snow. You're like, you did it.
But those are things that I remember. And it's like, I remember when, my parents only had one car compared to, when my brothers and my other sister grew up, they had multiple cars. They had a house, So I said, we got different versions of mom and dad. So our outlook on them is going to be different in how we were raised, even though the foundation per se is the same. The structure of it is not.
That's a great way to put it. I feel like, my sister, like I said, me and my sister, we are literally 18 months apart. So there's like a course of our birthdays where we are only like a year apart, and then somebody got a birthday. But because we're only 18 months apart, I feel like we were attempted to be raised the exact same. We have the same parents, the same mom, same dad, but we're completely, Anika, you've met my sister. We are completely different people. We could not have been raised the same. You know what I mean? Like you said, we had the same, Anika said it, we had the same rules, but they were enforced differently. I couldn't spend a night. I knew not to even fix my mouth to spend a night. Don't even ask.
Like for real, the first time I was really able to spend a night somewhere was when I was staying at y'all house for like weeks at a time. That's why I never went home, because I was like, shit, I could finally spend a night out. Shit, I'm sad.
We were horrible people. Actually, now that I think about it,
the first kids is the test dummies.
But and I remember y'all took me out to that club.
And my sister are the same age. And the stuff that I did with my sister is the same thing I was doing with Anitka. And as far as I'm concerned,
underage as fuck.
Me and Anika don't look a shit alike. We only light skinned.
And everybody thought we was related.
She wanted to get in. She was able to get in.
Hey,
maybe I'm the reason me and my sister fucked up, because I just did all kinds of fucked up shit. Like,
because she would go into the club, she would slip me her ID, I would show it to them.
Straight down, like, here you go. Why were we like this? We had a great, it was a time last night.
I did the same thing to my sister. Like, when I went away to school, you know, when I graduated high school, my sister was a freshman. And I'm just thinking, talking about this. I'm like, you really was a sophomore telling mom and dad you was at work whole time. You drove down to Bloomington Normal to come and hang out with me. And you know, she had her license, but like, think about it. When I was
ain't letting your 16-year-old come all the way to
right
by themselves. And I'm like, what were we thinking? Like,
that was the gig. I show you. I used to work in the water tower, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work and be at her fucking house.
She be at my house. I will come home. I'll be like, oh, Anika here. They be like, yeah, we cooked. Gee, we would cook and go out to eat. My sister would be there. And I'd be like, when did you get here? She'd be like, oh, I called Shawan and Anika. And we outside.
We outside.
It was to the point that at one point we had too many people and not enough IDs. So we just threw a party at the crib. We had like a whole taco night. It was just like, we ain't got enough IDs, but we got enough people. So we're going to have a party. Like, you call your people, I'm going to call my people. And we just had like a bunch of people. Oh, insane.
Crazy, right?
That was a great time, actually. I actually hate that me and my sister aren't as close as we used to be. And I've tried throughout the years to like mend that relationship. But what I noticed that I do, and I don't know if I ever said his name on here, and I'm not gonna start. My fiance actually, like, he noticed that about me. Like, I gravitate towards friends that are closer to their family, and then their family becomes my family.
Your family.
So, like, that's just how I am. So, like, Anika, I literally treated Anika like a little sister. Like, there was nothing Anika could not call. What, you coming over? Fine, cool, whatever. You need to eat? Fine, cool, whatever. You need to ride from work? Cool, I'm on my way. Like,
when I started dating, I would bring the nniggas to their house so that we could power with you.
Oh my god!
Well, let me see if he okay.
Her and our other friend, a little bit, baby. When they started like dating for real, I used to be like,
Remember that time that what was that club 502, 504,
505? We had a great time. Okay,
that one time, you know what one time I'm talking about. That was a night.
Girl up in the doggone way. Why are we like this? I don't know.
That was a night. I think I might have got something.
She actually
always a plus.
But I actually noticed that about me. So, like, I don't know, Rachel, if you ever noticed about me, like, I'm always at one of our mutual friends. Mm-hmm. I'm always at their events. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm there. I gravitate towards people like that. The people that I've dated in my past, unknowingly, they're super close to their family. And I'm like, I feel like I'm unknowingly attracting that because that's what I truly want. So like, even with like my sister and brother, the ones that I didn't grow up with, I find myself kind of like making sure like, y'all good, y'all need anything, you know, whatever, like y'all come to Chicago, y'all can stay with me like immediately. Like, I feel like I long for that type of family ship, because I'm not even close to my cousins. I got 3 cousins, maybe 4. I got 8 uncles. I talked to 4 of my cousins. One of my uncles got 4 kids. I talked to 4 of my cousins, and they not all his. So it's just like I don't even talk to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like I feel like because that's what I truly wanted, but my family just so fucked up in different ways and different manners. It's like, all right, well, I'll go find my own family. I'm gonna make one. Like, and I feel like I think
I'm too jaded. At this point in my life, I think I'm too jaded because I don't even want it. And if I'm friends with somebody that's real close with their family, I separate myself from that because I feel like it's weird because I'm not close, so I don't understand it. So it's weird to me. So I just kind of like going over there. Like people like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna come. Oh, never mind.
Gravitate to my family. They're just like your family is just so like. I hear all the time, you all are so family oriented. And sometimes it can, it can be taken as, entitlement because like, I'm the big sister. So I feel like I'm supposed to be in everybody's business. And I'm supposed to be checking out, and I am. I'm supposed to be, checking out you got a girlfriend. Okay, well, this is my brother. I understand you're dating him, but I'm first. Until y'all married. And I do kind of have that mentality, but like friends, they like, oh my God, I love coming to y'all house. Even just like with aunts and uncles and cousins and you know what I mean, grandma. Well, I only have one living grandparent left, but it's just a welcoming type feel.
We show up as a family. We absolutely will. What's gonna happen when we all in the same room? Who knows? We fighting for sure. Just don't know when. But we'll show up.
Let me tell you.
We'll show up. The last function I was at, my mom got stabbed. So
you like, God damn. You're like, what's happening? What you like? What's going on?
So like, let me tell you, we'll show up. We will show up as a union. We gonna step out.
Everything else to follow. You like
well, whatever happens next. I have no idea.
No, because they don't tell them where it's gonna go. Exactly. We there. We here. You asked for us here.
I'm actually the family member they call last because they don't really know how I'm truly gonna react. Like either she's gonna be very calm and get this situation handled very like professionally, otherwise she gonna flip tables over. Like you're gonna get one of those two. There's nothing in the middle, and that's just what it is.
Oh, I'm the Rottweiler of the family.
Yes, I am. They call me to fight all the time. I'm the fighter. They know the card. I don't give a fuck who it is. I'll be somebody.
But but my thing is, I go hard for my family, and that's just how I was. You know what I mean? Brought up. We could talk about if you was right or wrong later. But in this moment, I got your back like 4 flats.
And that's how it should be. That's what's going on right now.
Shoot first, and then I ask questions.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Shoot a gun, but I'm gonna shoot first, and then I'm gonna ask questions. Maybe. So
I didn't be picking people up, and they'd be like, "That's
on accident." On accident, absolutely. Well, bitch, why are you over here anyway?
That's right.
I'm like, well, y'all said her. We was talking to the girl behind her. Y'all should have been clear. Should have said a shirt name, something. I don't know what's going on. I know for me too. Like the other thing is, so like,
man, she's stupid because why you get your ass beat and didn't say nothing?
Didn't say shit. Just got beat up.
Didn't say a word.
The other thing too, like, so the question I was going to ask earlier was about like how you would want, your kids to be with their siblings, right? And so I don't have any other children at the moment. I only have my son. He's 12, but he has a little brother, and I'm always like making sure that he understands that it doesn't matter that you guys have different moms. You all are brothers. Like, I don't care what anybody says to you. You guys are brothers. Because how your brother back. That's just what it is. And I feel like I'm instilling that because I wish somebody would have done that for me and my siblings. Like somebody should have beat my daddy ass and been like, why them kids don't know each other? But instead they kind of like facilitated the bullshit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like for me, I'd be like my son had his moments. They are 4 years apart, I think. 3 years, something like that. And so with that being said, like my son getting ready to be 13 in like 6 months. They are very different because they are no longer little kids. Like his little brother is still a little kid, but my son is definitely growing into this teenager, into this person. They don't have the same stuff in common. So now I'd be like, my son, like, I don't want to go over there. My little brother gonna be there. I'm like, That's your brother. Like, I don't give a fuck if he was 1 year old. You better figure it out. Figure out what y'all got in common. Y'all like something. You better like, and that's just how I feel like, because I don't want it to be like me and my son's father, other baby mama, may not get along. That ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Like, y'all supposed to still be cool. And so that's how I be like, what? I also set my ass down. I feel like I'm finna get beat for they finna go crazy in the comments, and I don't give a damn. At what point do you be like, I don't want a third baby daddy? I don't want a fourth baby daddy. Like, at what point do you fucking sit the fuck down?
Hello.
Like, at what point do you sit? You get one. I'm gonna give you the one. You get two. I'm actually.
They got a kid with every boyfriend.
But now we every 4, 5, 6. Shorty in the McDonald's video was like, you ain't gonna get this McDonald's to my son, and he got 6 siblings. 6 siblings, ma'am. Sit your 60 ass down. Why are you even having that much? I don't want that many children by that.
And again, I think I'm coming from a place where I am my daddy's only child. So even if he was to try to, be nice and do something like that, I feel away because that's not your problem. That ain't your responsibility. It's nice that you thought about them though, because they are my siblings. At the end of the day,
you my dad.
You my dad.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah. And I think so. One, I feel like it was more dialect or dialogue. Okay, whatever that. I feel like it was more behind that story.
That's what people kept saying.
Because in my mind, logically, if we're speaking logic here, he's obviously been with this woman. He knows she has all these damn kids. I cannot just see him showing up with something for just his kid. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm like, it's something.
No. I can see it.
But what I
guess it's the niggas I grew up with, because I absolutely can see it.
See it like a motherfucker. Like, actually,
and it's like, well, like technically you ain't wrong. It's just
and that's the situation. It's like, technically, no, you're not wrong. You know what I mean? It's not even a technicality. If he's choosing to do for his child, then he's
morally
you
ain't wrong
for his
and
child.
Everybody was like, well, she's struggling. That's not his fault.
Personal problem.
Yeah, that's not his fault. She
got nothing to do. I'm sure when he was with her, he was taking care of her and all them kids.
And all the kids.
All them kids. But what I've noticed, like from my male friends that may have kids with women who have other children, they get the short end of the stick because the other baby daddies is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, if you know this is a good dude, you know that they gonna do for their kid, but then you got the other ones who don't do for their kids. You ain't got them on child support, but now because he got a good job, now he's in a relationship or whatever the case may be, now you want to send him through hell when he actually does for his kids.
My daddy, my daddy literally had to come and see me at school because my mama wouldn't let him see me and shit. My daddy was the only one.
So how does that affect you growing up?
It bothered me because the rest of the niggas she talked to, with the exception of my youngest 2 siblings' dad, because they have the same dad, were shit. Absolutely shit. Beat the fuck out of her, okay? Understand? One guy tried to shoot her, and I literally jumped in front of a bullet for this woman. Didn't like her at all. But it just wasn't happening on my watch. You take her ass outside and do that.
It's still your mama. Well, I get it.
It's still your mama.
It so bothered me because she would down talk him and say that he never did nothing. The one time my daddy lost his job, he was probably unemployed for a few weeks, 6 weeks maybe, and then he went on to become a sheriff. So he missed one payment. But the minute he got his unemployment, he gave it to her. And she was all on Facebook calling him delinquent, telling people all this. It was a big thing. And I was like, see, this is the problem that I have. Because at this point, I'm in high school. So I see what the fuck you doing. And now the beef is getting worse. Because now I don't like you for real.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And I find that very important. And that's why, when it comes to my daughter and her dad, and granted in the beginning it wasn't always it's not what it is now, but for me, I always found it important for me to, even when I didn't want to always do the right thing. And I say that because at the end of the day, that's her dad. regardless of how I feel about him, that's still her dad. And she has to make up in her mind how she feels about him. I don't want to persuade her to, or put my feelings off on her because he may have done something to me that had nothing to do with her. So I always made sure that even when I didn't want to, even though I probably shouldn't have, went out of my way for him, for her, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So I do have another question. Actually, we're going to take a break. And I'm going to ask this question when we come back. So y'all stay tuned and listen to this ad.
Woo child. Y'all know what time it is. It's definitely time for that business of the week.
Yes, the business of the week this week is Black Luxe candles. This is not the first time y'all heard me talk about them, and this definitely won't be the last. I went to a candle making class they offer on Friday nights here in Chicago, and baby, wasn't it everything? You get to pick your scents, you get to pick your candle holder, and it's a vibe. You even get to bring your own bottle. You know, I'm always here for a good drink. The vibe that Brittany and her husband set was everything, okay? Have you ever made your own candles? If not, make sure you check out Black Luxe Candles on Instagram or TikTok, and make sure you tell them Cubana Kiss sent you. All right, welcome back, y'all. So we've been talking about just, how our parents influence our relationships with our siblings, but I also want to switch gears because y'all know it's not a Whew Chile episode unless we talk about relationships. So do you think that what you witnessed growing up with your, Rachel, obviously your parents were married, so you saw like something different. Anika, I think me and you saw something completely different than each other, and then Rachel. Do you think that what you saw growing up really truly affected how you view relationships and how you move forward in like those spousal type relationships?
I would say yeah. My parents, they are still married. They've been married for 36 years.
Woo, child.
Yeah. That's something I said. And it doesn't, I think, the whole saying of whether the father is in the daughter's life or not, I feel like every girl still searches for her dad in the man that she's dating, or certain aspects of her dad in the man that she's dating. And, I always say, like, my dad, top tier, like, provider across the board. Like, if I could give him anything in the world or all the money in the world, I definitely would give it to him because he did the damn thing. But in my relationships, obviously you kind of, sometimes you go through the bad boy stage, and by your parents both working for the government.
Yikes! Yeah, when I tell niggas that my daddy is sheriff, they be like, "Oh." Even if they don't do nothing wrong, even if they got decent jobs, they be like, "Oh."
And I'm like, "But you got a good job, But
never been in trouble or nothing. They like, "Oh."
Right. But no, like, I do look for my dad, a lot of his qualities in men that I do date. Because I do think everybody has flaws, but overall, my dad is a good man. So I haven't found him yet, but things take time.
My daddy is also an Aries, so that's his flaw.
My dad is a Scorpio.
My daddy is flaw as him, so is a deadbeat, and so
that escalated quick.
That's right. What that is. Actually, truth be told, my dad's birthday is, I think my real father's birthday is, this how y'all know he a fucking deadbeat. I don't know that nigga birthday. I think it's the 16th of February. My son's birthday is Valentine's Day. So I do know that their birthdays are extremely close. So that Aquarius trait, that temper, that whole fucking situation, my son got it fucking honest. So I definitely was kind of like, no, we're gonna yoga and meditate with that mug. Cause my son, I'd be damned if you be anything like that deadbeat man that did not raise me. My mom was not a serial dater, right? She wasn't one of those women who, when she divorced my dad, because he was abusive. It is what it is. And it's not even like it was a one-off. Like, he abused my mom, and then he abused my sibling's mom, and then now he's with somebody else, and I'm more than certain he's
pretty
abusing
sure
her. Like, that's just, it is what it is. That's who you are as a person. Because of that, I feel like it gave me a very hard interior. Where like I put up this barrier, this wall, Anitka, you know, hey, don't fuck me. All these niggas on a contract. Fuck, you can get the fuck out. Like that's just how I operated. Like put my feelings on the nightstand. We can do whatever, but I'm finna leave. Like that's just kind of how I operated. And
then leave.
Yeah, peace out in the club. But my mom, because she didn't truly date, I'm not saying that she didn't date around us. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. She met my stepfather and I saw their relationship, though not a horrible relationship, still very much so toxic. You know what I mean? Like growing up and working through that in therapy, I'll be looking like, oh, y'all niggas should have left each other the fuck alone. Cause like, what is this? And then growing up even more and seeing her with someone completely different and still realizing like, you know, my mom has trauma from that first marriage, from being with my dad, that she truly hasn't let go. Mm-hmm. And me seeing that in her, I'm unknowingly like pushing men out of my life because like, no, fuck this shit. I don't need a nigga. I can do this shit by myself. Da, da, da. And then I met somebody who was like, bitch, you can't do it by yourself. Like, why do you even want to? And I was just like,
because I can. Like, that's going to be my answer. Because I can.
Exactly. Because I can. Because my mama
can I use help? Sure.
And I can too.
But I can't do it alone.
Right.
Yeah.
For the record, like, I can do it by myself.
But why?
But love the help though. But you know.
I remember, like, I was looking back at some of my, you know, how Facebook memories just give you memories. One of the Facebook memories I hate is seeing my old statuses that I wrote out. Because, like, why didn't I proofread it? But anyway.
I felt the same way. Like, why did I write this? And why am I talking like this?
Like, what's happening? But one of the things that I had put, it was so crazy. I used to do these, like, rules. And I guess, like, not rules, but like reason. And it was like reason number 3,942 on why I need a man, because somebody needs to put these cabinets up. It was all like labor intensive shit. It wasn't like I need somebody to confide in and to hold me and to understand like these things. And it wasn't
you can hold
like,
me after you put the cabinets up.
Put the cabinets together, then come hold me. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's it.
That's what I need. But now what's crazy is that I have somebody in my life that I never really truly saw myself with. And like we always laugh because neither one of us saw each other with each other. That was a fun time. You cool, I'm cool. Okay, bet, let's go on. But it's like, no, like he actually get me. Like he wasn't trying to change me. Mm-hmm. He really just was like, you know, you can do this. You know, you ain't got to be mean. You know, you ain't got to do this. And I'm like, boy, fuck you. But put it in paper. Let me see how I'm supposed to do it. Like, let me see what's going on.
Write it down and just slide it over. You can go away, but just write it down.
Like, go get it. But it's just fine. Like, it was stuff like that. But I didn't realize it until, like, I was going through therapy for something that was so unrelated. Like, it didn't have anything to do with relationships. Whole time, that's what my problem was. Like, how I viewed the relationship, how I view, like, people around in my life fucked up my shit. I would have been probably, it wasn't meant for me to settle down. Like, she was meant for me to be with this nigga. So
I'm into, like, polygamy, but, like, neither one of my parents, none of that shit. And I mean, my daddy, I don't talk to my mom about shit, so whatever. But like, I'll bring it up to my daddy, and even he'll be like, I don't know where you got that from. And I was like, me either, but the shit make me happy. You know, I found a nigga who was with the shits too, and we was settled. We was happy. We were good.
I'm not opposed to, first of all, I think polygamy is a wonderful thing if done correctly and not just a motherfucking, exactly, not just a man just feeling like, oh yeah, I got two bitches and I'm the shit. Like, polygamy is actually way deeper.
And I had two niggas, so it was different. Yeah.
But
it's so much deeper.
Like, exactly. And I feel like to a certain degree, like men want polygamy, and I feel like it's more of a selfish thing. Like you want to have somebody else, but I can't. And it's like, but it doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. Like if we're gonna,
and then you have two different things, because you have polygamy and then you have like polyamory, which is whether you're gonna be open or closed or not.
Right.
And some people are closed polygamists, where it's like the man can have his other person, but y'all are more a throuple than anything,
right?
Opposed to you just not knowing who this woman is or whatever.
Right.
Y'all are a throuple, and then you have some people who like to keep it open and just like whoever, and that's too open for me. Like I don't mind, you know, one off fucking one other person. I don't need to have just free reign to go out there and just fuck any old body. Like that's not.
Don't give me that type of reign.
But I think
that
comes with maturity and communication. And unfortunately, like, I do feel like a lot of men and a lot of women they cannot communicate.
And they also are ill-informed because some guy, well, I'm not gonna call some nigga, yeah. He was in my DMs and shit a while, well, not even a while ago, a couple of days ago, talking about how I felt about, being polygamy, all this shit. And I was like, well, first of all, I'm into it. Why you thought I would be into it with you is another thing. Right. And then he went on about how it's he want to get with two women who know what they talking about so they could put all their money together. This is where you're wrong. Nowhere in polygamy are we putting our money together. There's one person with the money. And whoever that person is usually, that's the foundation. And that person is bringing in other people because they know they can provide for those two people. You just want to pull your money together.
A threesome.
You got a threesome without no money, love. You ain't got to get no money out of me for that.
That's all he wants is a threesome.
I was just like, well, first of all, I'm gonna need you to really look into what this is before you start asking bitches if they want it.
Like I tell everybody when they ask me a stupid question, Google is free.
Absolutely.
Use it.
Google be sending you off though. I don't go fuck what nobody say. People always be like, "Did you Google it?" Yeah, and it told me I had.
Accurate about that, especially because I tell niggas
the other day, and it gave me
you
3
options. You can't do that,
it
girl.
Gave me, I was gonna be pregnant. I'm gonna die tomorrow, and I got monkeypox all at the same time.
That's what she went.
You cannot do that.
WebMD will tell you about to die from a headache.
I'll be like, oh my God, I got cancer. Like, what?
I found out I should have died 6 months ago from a headache on WebMD today. They was like 6 months ago you were supposed to have been dead. I don't know why you still here looking us up.
You know what? Y'all look absolutely right. I'm gonna just keep taking my vitamins. I don't know. I wish that one part of me wishes that my mom actually did date more around me.
Why is that? Like, my daughter has seen me in one relationship after her father, but when it comes to, am I dating? Yes, I'm dating. Is it anyone that I'm serious enough to bring around my child? No.
And I think that, so when I say dating more around me, so Rachel, your daughter and me are actually very similar in the sense of like what we're seeing, right? Mm-hmm. So like I grew up, the love story that I saw my grandparents, like even my wedding date is my grandparents' wedding anniversary. Like I plan on sharing my first dance with my grandparents. Like it's just, that's what I saw, right? So that was Black love to me. But like I didn't see that in my actual house. So I only saw that on occasion. So it's like when I started dating and I started, going out and doing stuff, thank God for my uncles, because my uncles definitely put me on. Don't let a nigga tell you this. He gonna tell you X, Y, Z. He gonna be trying to, just fuck, woo, woo. But it's like that. I feel like that would have reigned home differently had I had that male figure in my actual home, or just someone that was not necessarily family to really kind of like be there. I don't know, like. I wish
that makes sense. Like I will say that, as far as her dad is very prominent, but her dad doesn't live here. So outside of that, she sees my brothers, they have girlfriends, obviously my parents, but like my brothers and my dad are very prominent in her, in her life and shaping her and making sure she feels this type of love coming from a man. But I can agree, like, that it's kind of like, dang, her dad went and he got married and I'm still single.
But it's just because it's like you the primary parent, right? So like it don't matter how, like, everybody know my baby daddy is involved like a motherfucker. He get on my nerve, but he involved. Like he that's one thing I would say. He gonna come get this goddamn baby. But I'm still the parent that he sees the majority of the time, right? So I'm the influence that he gets majority of the time. And so like, even though, and it's so funny that I say I wish my mom would have dated around me more. It's really like now that I'm older, it's like, girl, you ain't got no boyfriend. Like, what is you doing? Like,
still had him.
Ma'am, why are you calling me at 10 o'clock? What you doing? Watching Practical and Pranks?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I don't want to sit on the phone with you while you watch that. Like, I just don't want to do that right now. You need a man because I can't help you. Like, it's just like stuff like that.
But when you have girls, it's
a completely different story. Yeah.
And not to say that, you know, things can't happen to boys, because it most definitely can. But it's very different when you have a daughter, because, like, I always tell her, like, I'm not raising you for myself. I'm raising you for everybody else. And I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. Make better decisions, you know what I mean, that I made. So I can't just bring, you know, I may like him now, but in 6 months from now, is he going to be around?
Now,
you know
I was
what I mean? Like,
very picky about who was around my son.
She does
yeah,
not
now that I think about it, and all those escapades.
To me,
my son was not there. Or remember, I used to disappear, put my son to sleep. Like, he used to be knocked out, and then I would come to the party. Like, I was actually very particular over anybody that I was dating, meeting my son. Actually, my now fiance had met my son, but my son didn't know we was dating. He just thought that was that dude I worked with that knew how to draw Transformers.
That's how
he didn't know.
That's all that mattered. That's all that mattered.
Whenever she saw my ex-boyfriend, it was always like, it would always be at different functions. So she never like saw us, you know what I mean, together. And he had a daughter too. And that was, it worked out because, like, we had a very nice blended family. You know, when we were together, but you know, things didn't work out. That's fine. Like, me and him, we still cool. Our daughters, they still talk to each other. But that was that's what it is. Yeah, that was the only man. And it took like a year.
I don't know if this has changed. I feel like it hasn't changed, but I'm gonna ask, and you can beat me up off air if you want to, but that's fine. Now, when we was younger, you wasn't stunning on motherfucking kids. You weren't even dating a nigga that had kids. Is that still the case for you? Like, are you gonna date a man who has a child now that you're a little older?
So the reason why I don't is because of the lifestyle I choose to live. Your kids ain't gonna be able to understand that. I don't know how you're gonna be able to explain that to them. So I would just rather not put anybody in a predicament where they would have to do anything like that.
What if they're older? What if they have?
I mean, like, if they're shit, how old is your daddy? If they,
I mean, that's my. What I'm saying, older. I mean, like, my daughter's 15.
See, so, like, even then, that's when I'm like the most protective of it, because then I don't want them to. That's a touchy subject for teenagers like that. Like, is it like not that young?
That can be added to everything else that the world is showing.
Like, you can bypass it as a kid, but like, I don't want them to be like,
no,
oh, my daddy be having bitches in the house. They be all doing it together. See, no. And then the fact that you understand it.
I think it's different with this generation. I think this generation is way more aware of who they are sexually than we ever could have been.
Yeah, and that is true.
Ever could have been. Like, they're in the fucking third grade. Like, I don't know if I want to be she, her, or he, him. Like, they're in that. They're already there. Whereas for a lot of us, we know that much about ourselves for real. So we got out of high school. Like, oh shit,
I didn't know coochie.
I mean, you got.
I mean, I knew that, but I feel like a lot of people didn't know that.
But you got adults that don't know who they are because they've masked who they've been for their entire life. But I think they're not as judgmental.
Yeah, this generation is definitely
they're very like it's weird because you know how they say, you know, history always repeats itself. This seems very hippie-ish. I wasn't around obviously when and all that stuff was going on, but you know what I get from movies or TV shows that I see is that they were very like chill, relaxed,
carefree
time. You know, very carefree. So, and understanding outside of the war going on, but they were just like, whatever, it's your life, and if that's
I don't know, especially if it was a girl. I don't know how. I was like, I don't even want to help you explain that to her. Like, I don't want to.
I went through my son's phone once, because I'm that mama. I don't give a fuck. It's my phone, and I just let you use it. But I went through his phone, and one of his friends had texted him like, you know, bro, I don't know. I feel like I might be bi or I might be whatever, and. my son was
That
like,
mouth.
my son, nah, girl, he didn't even say that. I was expecting him to say some smart ass shit. He was like, okay, so do you still want to play 2K or is that affecting you playing 2K? And I thought that was the funniest shit ever because he did not give a fuck. He was like, why are you telling me this? Like, I do not
Because
care.
what do you want me to do? Like, okay,
yeah, like,
does it mean you don't want to play no more? You want to go play with like dresses and shit? Or
like,
still play 2K?
He was so confused. He's like, you still want to play 2K? I guess his friend was kind of like, oh, that's why I fuck.
Is your 2K nigga gonna show up in a dress or
right? Like, what's happening? Like,
are we
you
playing?
What's
Again,
going on?
the question. And you know what's crazy is
so black people don't like basketball or
like, what's happening?
Let me know because I just
when my daughter was in elementary school, they had a field trip or whatever, and she asked my sister to go on the field trip with her. My sister was like, yeah, I'm cool, whatever, that's fine. This is the middle sister, this is the glue, and I am super protective of her. My sister is a lesbian, and she's not like the femme lesbian. She dresses in, I like to call it relaxed fitting. I don't like to call it boy clothes because she's not trying to be a boy or a man. She just likes their clothes. So I call it I call it relaxed fitting, and she has long dreads. So they had already like set it up. She sent the form in, and I'm sitting over here worrying, like, oh, I don't want nobody to say nothing. I definitely don't, kids. I don't want administration to say anything to my sister because of what she looks like and everything like that. They went, and my daughter, one of her classmates that came up to her, and she like turned her head and looked, and she was like, is she a boy or a girl?
See, that's why I was like, kids, they will do that very thing.
So my daughter told her, she's my Titi, and if you keep being mean to her, I'm gonna beat you up. And I was
that's
like,
what I'm talking about.
Okay, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I have a cousin like that. I don't think he know that we know, but we know he be fucking trannies. We just waiting for him to come out and say it. Because, I mean, don't nobody give a fuck. We don't care.
Right.
But you ain't got to hide it. We know. We see it on Facebook. You be leaving like drool emojis and nigga, that's a dick right there. We just want you to just be comfortable with saying it. And you ain't got to keep hiding it because it take a toll on you after a while. Because you got to keep hiding it. So say something.
Living your truth. But yeah, that just, she doing that, like, and she love her TT. She
be
loves
like that,
her.
like, I feel
she
like
don't. And if you bother her, she going to war for her. So
I appreciate though. I feel like aunts and uncles are very much so underrated.
They underappreciated.
And then when it comes to older siblings, I think
look at her just became auntie. She's like, you know what? God damn it, you are right.
Like, no, I'm not an aunt at all. But I appreciate
2 seconds.
Maybe I'm not.
God damn it, I have been unappreciated.
Yeah, I don't know if any of my siblings gonna have kids. My brother probably like the closest one, and that just is what it is. And I say baby,
see
like,
how long it took my siblings.
Child, my son gonna be 13. He said I got our first cousins. Like, what's happening?
My daughter's first
the economy is fucked up. Let me say.
Hello.
Daycare. I saw somebody's daycare receipt.
I couldn't have no child right now. I need a nanny.
Baby, my mama, she gotta retire. Here you go to these kids, because what is you gonna do?
Had that nigga not died, I'd have had my nanny. I mean, I could still have a nan, but it hit different.
I really truly appreciate aunts and uncles. I appreciate like my uncles. My mom was the only girl per se in my grandmother's house. She has a sister, but I didn't even grow up with her as my aunt. I ain't meet her till I was grown. So that just show you how the hell that fucking shit worked. This shit fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I need to go back to therapy. Because what the fuck is this? Therapy
is so helpful. It is so helpful. It's so helpful. And I wish they did, promoted it more, because especially with COVID that has happened, I feel like our kids need it.
I met with a teacher once, and he made the comment, and I didn't think about this until he said it. Like, you know how people say shit, you be like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. He was like, our kids, they are 2 grade levels where they should be since COVID, but mentally they still wherever they were when we left their ass. when we took them out of school. So your son, now he's in the 7th or the 6th grade, but when he left out of school for COVID, he was in the 4th grade, and mentally he's still in that 4th, 5th grade range because he didn't get to grow up with the kids. He didn't grow up in the environment.
Happens in that classroom.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, the mental growth is there in the classroom with the teachers, with the students that he's around. Because there's always that one kid that's a little bit more adult than the other kids, but they just kind of bring the other kids with them. Like the kids are kind of like, hold on, let me go see what so-and-so doing. But it's like, that shit crazy. Listen, I really appreciate y'all coming on. I do have one final question, though. If you could change anything from your childhood that your parents might have done, one thing.
Let me scroll the parchment out.
I can see Anika's head like, oh, just one.
Child, if you could change one thing from your childhood that your parents did, said, or whatever, what would be that one thing that you would change? Okay, I'm gonna go first while y'all think. I know I said one thing, but I actually got two things. I wish I would have grew up with my siblings. That's one thing I hate, that adult shit got in between kid shit, and I don't like that. It really does bother me, even as like a 33-year-old woman. I fucking hate it. The other thing, and I try my hardest not to do this to other children, and when I see parents do this to their kids, I try to like pull them to the side and be like, this is why you shouldn't do it. I don't like when parents say things like, why can't you just be like your sister? Or why can't you just do what so-and-so did? I fucking hate that to my core, because it's like, they can't be like that person because they're not that person. They have completely different things that's going on. And so that's why they're reacting this way. And a lot of the times when kids react a certain way is because they're trying to get an action out of you to, get attention or whatever the case is. So if I could change one thing, it would be that, like, people telling my sister, like, oh, why you want to be more like your sister? Da, 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 da. I feel like that's another thing that might have caused a wedge between us.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I say kind of all the time, I don't know if this kind of aligns with where you're going. But I say all the time, I really wish my parents would have had my siblings before me, but me be the same age that I am.
Oh.
I wish I was the baby. Or the only child. But if I gotta have, that'll work. But if I had to have siblings, I wish, sometimes I do wish I wasn't the oldest.
Actually, I don't think I could be anything but the oldest. I'm bossy as fuck.
I mean, I don't feel like I could be anything, but I feel like the oldest child, the baby child, they're the bossiest.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually accurate information.
So yeah, I say that all the time. Like, I honestly wish y'all had these kids before me. Y'all should have started popping that a long time ago.
Yeah, daddy. What about you, Nick?
Let's see. How can I say? I wish she was, I guess, more supportive of me. I guess, in a way. Because I was always very advanced, very smart. Whenever I would get those accolades, she would always try to knock me down a peg, say something that I was dumb or I was stupid or slow, something like that. So instead of celebrating me and my accomplishments and being like, this is my kid, she did that, it would be the opposite. So I think it kind of formed who I am today, especially in a workplace. So when people like, especially being Black and being a veterinarian, that's already hard. The other day I had somebody say that they didn't want me to work on their dog because I was Black, straight up like that. But stuff like that, it affects me in the workplace because it's like, you're not finna knock me down. I went to school, if not more than them motherfuckers over there. If not more.
I'm surprised you even, because first of all, I'm gonna say this much. I'm proud of you because I probably let that goddamn dog die. The dog can die then. I don't give a fuck. Who? Because I'm Black. Let me show you how Black your dog finna be when he die.
And what's it's straight happening? Like that. It wasn't even like no, she ain't trying to sugarcoat or nothing. It was straight like that. And I was like, that's fine. You got your preferences. But what you won't do is try to take away from my knowledge and my accomplishments. Because again, I went to the same amount of school as them, if not more, because I have a specialty and they don't.
Ooh,
Right.
Hello?
Talk your shit.
Put some respect on
So it's like
the name.
Like, that's just, you ain't gotta come to me because I'm black. That's fine. Acknowledge that I'm that black bitch that know, though. That's what you will do. You're gonna acknowledge that you don't want to see me, not because I don't know, it's because I'm black.
I respect that. I respect, people out there. I feel like parents really do majority, some of them. Some parents do their best. And
Sometimes
some of them just don't do anything. And so with that being said, if you're a parent, do your goddamn best, because them motherfucking kids,
they listen to your damn children. Just because they kids don't mean you can't listen to them. Listen to your damn children.
I will say this too. I do appreciate being able to have the relationship that I have with my son, where he's comfortable enough to talk to me. Right. So like one thing he said, even just today, he came in here, he came in my office. He was like, Mom, can we talk? So I'm working. Right. So I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, I'm just typing. And he like, how would you feel? So I stopped typing. Because I'm like, no, he really never start.
Yeah.
Like,
really how would you feel?
What's happening? So I stopped typing. I look at him. I'm like, what's going on? And it was like something to me that was so small. But he was like, no, I need to go talk to my mom about this. He's like, how would you feel if I dropped a class? Because I don't want to take this class. I want to take this other class. And if I take this class, I have to take it for all 4 quarters. And I don't want to do that. I want to switch my classes out. And so I don't want to. And I'm like, just switch the fucking class. Like,
That's like when them kids do that trick, like, look, and you be like,
and they like throw a pencil across the room. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right in that moment, like when he left out the office, I really realized in that moment that like he was looking for me for approval to do something that he wanted to do. And it's like, you felt comfortable enough to come talk to me about it. And I need to be 100 with you. Like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think this is a good idea, or whatever the case is. So it's just like,
no, baby, if you your opinion, that's good.
Exactly. I'm like, if you don't want to take fucking choir, then don't fucking take choir. Like, it's fucking choir. Exactly. It ain't like you're trying to drop math. You're trying to drop choir because you want to drop math. Don't take choir. Like, go ahead and do that. I think that's gonna be great for you. Like, I don't know what to say.
I'm the same way though. Like, I really encourage my daughters to come to me and talk to me, because I don't feel like as kids growing up we really had a voice. It was just like, shut the fuck up, just do what we say. You ain't got no feelings, right? Mm-hmm. And for her, I'm just like, if I'm doing something that hurts you or that bothers you, tell me. Be respectful, because I'm still your mama. Mm-hmm. But you need to tell me. Like she told me, she was just like, I don't like when you're mad or you're upset with me and you curse. Like, I know you're not cursing at me, and I know you're upset. That's why you're cursing, but it feels like you're cursing at me. And I'm like, okay,
that's a valid.
I can change that. I will work on that. It's things like that. But we do have to listen to our kids.
Definitely have to listen to and apologize to them. That's one thing I wish parents
did. Like, man,
apologize to your kids. Like, I got mad at my son the other day because they let the fucking air out the goddamn pool that took me 45 minutes to blow up. And when I tell you I acted a damn fool, I acted a damn fool. Because like, why the fuck didn't you use your goddamn common sense? And you saw how long it took me. And then when I finally realized, like, bitch, why was you mad about a pool you could blow up again?
Like, because you gotta blow it up again. Somebody better go buy an air pump at this point. I'm not blowing it.
And that's the thing. Even with the air pump, it took 45 minutes.
I know. I saw it.
You saw how big that pool was.
Get the damn pump. Get the damn one that you do the air mattresses with.
No, it is. It's an electric pump.
That's how big the girl. Throw that shit away. Go get a plastic pool.
Throw it away.
And I was
get the plastic pool, the one that's already there. And just fill it up.
I went back and apologized to him, and I was like, mommy was frustrated because it took me a long time to blow that pool up. It took me even longer to fill it up with water. And I should not have taken that. Right. And I was like, and I should not have taken that on you because you were trying to be helpful. And so, like, I apologize. And he was like, thanks, Mom. Thanks for apologizing to me. Like, that meant a lot to him that I admitted that I was wrong in that moment.
And then what it also was showing him.
Exactly. It's also showing him too that it's like, I can take accountability and still be like.
Exactly. We can't teach them accountability and not take it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do that. We can't do that. If we want them to hold them accountable, we gotta hold ourselves accountable.
Kayla,
too.
don't you start that barking shit.
On that motherfucking note. Okay, so if people want to follow you all, Raychel, how can they get in contact with you?
They can get in contact with me on Instagram. My name is I'm_B_Ray.
Hey, and what about you, Neat?
Well, I guess y'all can follow me on Instagram, and my name is _toxic_tantrums_.
Ooh. Look, you see, I got my pen, right?
She was always good for a good name because we were that's when Twitter.
Guns and Orgasms was my favorite one. That was my favorite name. The niggas loved it.
Well, y'all already know where y'all can find me. I'm at Cubana Kiss on everything: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter. Wherever you want to find me, I'm there at Cubana Kiss. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe and like so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Until then, y'all, TTYL. Bye.
Bye.